been tossed out as well onto Sandwich, trying to fake out a potential A hit, but they're actually going to be following in behind this, already spilling outside towards E-Box, where Rain is putting them down with a bit of pain. Twist on top of that, showing just why he's one of those most exciting prospects from NA. Missing a few shots there does afford them the luxury of going for a post plant, and Karrigan's trying to get up close with his USP. Player advantage now turns into a two-player advantage, and it's definitely faring in favor of Faze. D-Hat and Snappy, Yadane and Paul, the last two members standing with a P250 in D-Hat's hands, and he removes the head of Twist. Bomb planted for Pop Dog, but Faze have cleaned it up.
And so we'll have to see how it plays out, as Ence, again, definitely have enough to be dangerous in this round. So they're looking to maybe get a pick towards outside Dotto on the scout.
Nice shot from Twist, though, up close in the Pop Dog. Sprays down Alu, tries to transition into another couple, does significant damage, and Spinks will be finished off. The only Ence member, though, that has struck thus far. Although Karrigan is low, they're going to try and hold on to both of their Galils. Dotto's also feeling worse for wear as well here, though Dust, but Snappy has at least came back in and puts the Latvian down. It feels like a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation. Snappy is going to go for that peak, though. Seems like they do want to end this round with some more bloodshed and carnage, and Snappy, well, he'll reap the rewards of their aggression. Dotto's also dipped in, and suddenly it's a 1-on-2. coldzera with it all to do by himself. The smoke will afford the save. Blunt with 6 seconds. Ence have clutched that. Never looked likely, never looked like it should have happened. Seemed like they'd done everything spot on for Faze up until the last few moments. And now, with Desert Eagles, they'll have to try and avenge that disappointing round. Rain and Twists come through with Snappy 1 Deeks. And now Ence, they're struggling. They're been submerged. Spinks is going to try and give them a couple more breaths of oxygen. But now, with the smokes clearing, Dotto's got to do a lot of work with this MAC-10. He's been tagged down, he's been weakened, and now Rain goes in for the peak, but Dotto takes his head off.
Yeah, that kill kind of alleviates all the pressure they were feeling. And also the bomb's not committed yet. They could still pivot it if they feel they need to. Dotto, with the expendable MAC-10, is able to try to keep getting information in space to see if he can build a safety net for a team to come in and plant the bomb. But unfortunately for him, he's been traded 2 for 1. That leaves Spinks alone. Yes, he does have the AK and the head armor and a decent amount of health and time on the clock.
He's actually just stuck on the site itself, up close. This is where the glow should shine, but a lot of time is already ticked away. They need to get on the site, and in doing so, in amongst all this chaos, maybe Spinks can clutch it. There's the first spray down, needs to get the second. The full diffuser's coming through. Runs out of ammunition, switches to the block. He's missing everything. Pull the knife out, man. Spinks, not like this. The full diffuse underneath his nose. They spill out onto the site once again. This could be a reoccurring theme. This is where we were talking about maybe that lack of strategy playbook. Snappy straight through towards Ivy. As the two T's aggression do connect and fork in the road towards the site. Snappy goes in for another one, suddenly down to a 1-on-2. And hot off the back of Faze, finally getting a bit of consistency and getting consecutive rounds. They've been put right into a 1-on-2 situation. coldzera's already been in one of these under very different circumstances, though. May get the drop and does get the drop on Snappy, but the last player of Alu is completely unknown. He has the bomb and gets the drop on coldzera from the back. Ice in Alu's veins, and Ence somehow with Deagles make them work.
And try to punish Ence's low economy, despite the fact that they themselves don't really have anything to spin here. They got the Deagles, and the scout of Broki's already been found out.
Karrigan up close, getting 1 and a second. How the hell does he manage to transition into that second 1D onto D-Hat through the box as well? And just like that, Faze take the advantage, and the AK-47 is saved by Karrigan.
Considering that they do have Rain in this deep position, and they already had 2 players on this inner site. And Karrigan's not too far off from rotating.
He's not. Twist can put a bullet down range. That is huge. And look where the bomb is spilled down. One of the two of them has to go back out into the open. Go up the ladders again. And coldzera, he's striking in with more. 23 seconds on the clock. And I don't know if Dotto realizes just how grim this situation is. He's being flanked as well. And Faze, it's their turn to come out with the Eagles. It's their turn to stick the landing. And it all comes off the back of the IGL. Karrigan, again, when he's called upon, he always delivers. Lack of utility with a minute plus on the clock. So they will maneuver their way and erupt out onto the site. coldzera, though, is the man for the job. He blockades with 2 kills and a lot of damage with the scout is being inflicted from Broki. Going to be pushed from the side, but not before he silences Alu. It's another scrappy one. It's another round where maybe Ence can sneak and slither their way out of the site and potentially to a third. But Twist's making moves in, and the Canadian will pounce. Aim on point and true to deliver the frag. He spots the second, but Carrigan takes it away from him. Smoking off the push, still no AWP in play, which it really is as a direct result of how scrappy the start of this has been. They are pushing down ramp and Ivy simultaneously. Carrigan, not for the first time, locking it down with a 2K over on Ivy, and the rest is falling into play. So not just the round, but potentially, I nearly said a clean sweep. Just cursed Brokey as a bullet passes between his eyes. And maybe Spinks can put another bit of damage down or not. coldzera makes it a relatively clean round, and the first one that we've really had. He's slowing down the pace. Only 3 smokes left, and not many flashes either, Dust. They are lacking on utility.
Sure, but the other side of the coin, Vince, is now that FaZe won a clean round, they have the money to have utility to slow down fast pushes with the smokes and incendiaries, which is forcing us to play a little bit more careful. But they are still trying to explode in this inner yard, and they're actually making some progress. And now Dhow is on pretty big flank in the back halls. This could get dangerous.
That's a dirty little off angle with the smoke as well, and Dhow is flanking Brokey, who's finally got an open, takes him down. It looked like Dhow was about to rip this round open and close it off the FaZe, but instead, FaZe stand tall, and it's that man Carrigan again with yet another multi-frag round, allowing them safe passage, potentially outside of Pop Dog, but FaZe are doing such a good job of actually falling back and using their superior weapons at range. Rain already tapping off the head of Spinks and be turning his attention towards E-Box, where he sees players pushing through, but Dhow running interference, being the chaos creator, pushing straight through onto Ivy, and now Dotto's got him with 2 more frags. Rain needs to hold the line, 7 seconds left for the Norwegian, and he will fall on his sword.
So Ence have done well to drain FaZe of virtually all their resources for the weapons that they have. Cold trying to get aggressive inner halls is going to be caught. It's a great pickup from Dotto, but now you need to get a move on after your Ence, and they're doing just that.
Carrigan, though, bit of a different angle. The back train, Rain and Twists have both put down frags. And with 23 seconds, now the pressure is swarming. They need some big picks, and Alu's going to come in with 1. Pop Dog is held onto. Position has been given away to his adversaries, and they will pray down and jump in with the round. It's FaZe's turn to squeak out a round that probably should have never been.
Allowing Carrigan to, again, hold this aggressive angle and slow down that position. In the meantime, Twist is also found a pick towards Olaf. So FaZe are, again, playing that very constricting forward angle style of defense. Oh my, it just gets worse with that. And oh, he can't even be traded by Dotto. That is pivotal for FaZe that Cold's done that.
Great news across the board on the CTs. Dhow has to try and dig them out this ditch, but Carrigan just shovels a couple more loads.
So it does seem like they are trying to find Alu out, and it seems like only a matter of time before they discover him.
Oh, it's after time, isn't it? That was really close on the mark, actually. Smoke has forced away Carrigan, but they may have to push out into him. He's on 13 kills at the moment, and it's coming head-to-head with Snappy, who takes his head clean off. Brokey gets 1 in return. A weakened Spinks has to pull the plug and get out of there, but the player advantage is in favor of Ence, and now the grenade's starting to rain onto the site. Molly's to the top of train, forcing away some of these angles. There's still 50 seconds to play with. That flick from Brokey is a thing of beauty, and he may not be done just yet. No players of Ivy, but there's no way of him knowing that. And so he has to be cognizant. He has to do his due diligence before he flicks in for another one. And Snappy, his next victim. He is a predator stalking this round. 30 seconds to play with, flash up and over, and a low Spinks has to try and somehow carve a path through the end of this round. Spinks now coming in. 17 HP left, and he goes down. We'll be cutting to a break. When you join us, we'll see if FaZe can convert.
Might be one of the final nails in the coffin for Ence here on this map. So we are going to see some challenges go over towards Ivy.
2-for-1 trade. FaZe do take the advantage, and that hammer in the hands of Carrigan, as he is the puppet master right now, and he's pulling all the strings, and he's also pulling out a great performance for himself, by the way. Leading by example. Spinks, excellent headshot onto coldzera, gives them a chance into the round. They still have control over the bomb, though, FaZe, and they're looking to try and spill out onto A.
Yeah, it seems like that is the final destination here as Twist is getting backstabbed though, but he flicks the 180 for a dink onto D-How, forcing him into the back calls. Twist trades up to the USP, and now they start spilling out onto the site. Snappy being challenged over here in the back. Twist will finish him off. Kerrigan finds D-How, and now it's all on Spinks.
Already 1 kill to his name. And he's put a second in as well. Both players are very low. Brokey's on 1 HP and Twist's on 59. Now, ammunition may start to be a bit of a problem. Only 14 bullets left, putting them down and nearly flicks to the head of Twists. But with his life, maybe the map will follow. I'll see if they can douse off the flames a little bit here with some of these pistols. They still have that scout, as we highlighted before. They're able to successfully save, but Twists and Kerrigan turn it up a notch, pour the gasoline on. And although Ence didn't really have much in this round, they'll have a buy into the next. As you touched on, it could be their last chance now, as we've got into such dangerous, awkward situations where Snappy desperately just trying to clamber on for a kill or two, and D-Hat with just a USP can't really foreseeably get anything out of this round at this point.
Yeah, when you had that line about dousing gasoline, my brain is so broken that I was thinking about someone throwing gasoline inside of a sauna. Anything that involves human contact with gasoline is probably bad, though. So.
Yes. Don't advise it, definitely. Definitely don't. Ooh, those grenades, though, are looking good. And Ence, out of the back of a buy with plenty of orgs and an AWP, have sustained 1 casualty in the form of Spink, smoke, mollies, flashes, everything being tossed onto A side as this war ensues. Ence fighting down. They know the importance to try and remedy the situation. The spiraling downward trend has continued, and it's the Canadian that tries to just twist the knife in their back with his AK, down to 5 bullets. But Coldzera steps up alongside Twists, and that could be it for Ence.
Trade their way through it all, and now they have themselves a map point against an Ence that spawns as much as they can, but it's certainly far from ideal.
And this has been a far cry from their performances against the likes of Vitality.
Yes.
It's been a bit of a dud so far, I think it's safe to say. Twist, though, is just going to put this off as fast as possible. Administer the mercy across to Ence, who are floating away into the nether. It's all on Dotto with a scout in hand, and as much as he's doing damage and landing some frags, it feels like just a drop in the bucket, and they will be doused down fully. Faze consistently have been the better team, and they convert 60. Gonna be some aggression though. Faze charging straight up Banana. HE tossed down. Does it a little bit of damage, actually a lot more than a little bit, nearly 100 damage just by itself. Softens up so many of these Ts, and now they can be pivoted into. Spinks posted the back of the site, already with 1 and putting that aim to use for 2. Runs out of ammunition, should be going down, but Snappy has his back covered, and the damage has been done. It's a close-out round, with only Spinks being the casualty on Ence.
They're also getting aggressive in the apartment, so they're getting a lot of map right now.
Yeah, tons of information. They can hear the footsteps just below them, but Alu peeks out, gets tagged down to 50. They've already taken down Spinks. Add Snappy into the mix, and the B site's fallen. The only reprieve that Ence have is the bomb's been dropped down towards the T side of the steps. They need to go get that, but that's going to be a reprieve for only a few seconds. D has already bridged the gap somewhat with his MP9, but what an awful start to the round for Ence.
Yeah, but Twist is going to cause some presence over here towards middle, so they're never really going to know for sure where this bomb is headed. Even Faze is still kind of figuring out exactly where they want to commit it. Twist is going to slide out, spots the closet player, gets that kill. D-How able to find his man, but now Faze know where they can bring this bomb and just work together. They know that there was at most 1 at A. They find it, bomb will go down, and so Faze is going to give us a very kind of deja vu feeling to how Train played out, with kind of that 1-1 scramble at the start rather than some type of team, kind of dominating the early portion of the half. Up middle, good flash, pushes the defense off, starts to establish some brackets control, blocks off that left side, trying to isolate up lane, and the team will follow up.
They charge in, double player stack, make it 3, but as D-Han gets a bit too antsy, a bit too overzealous, he is punished by Rain, and Twists has finished off the rest. There was a slight glimmer of hope. A window was being opened, but it gets slammed shut on Ence, and they're forced out. And to be fair, they may even just try and hold on to these last 2 players and their Kevlar and weapons.
Right, and I like that we're kind of starting to see Twist early on in this game, and really throughout the matches played so far with Faze, with Kerrigan on the squad, being that solo player on the edges of the map and kind of just holding position or trying to cause rotations or just get reads of the opposition and kind of be more of like a follow-up or a late round factor more often than not. Now he gets to, again, be the one going out in front and kind of flexing his aim and show you what he's capable of.
They have a buy. It's not ideal. It's far from ideal, to be honest. For Masses, MP9 also tossed in the mix with no utility really to speak of, and no kits either. Twist with the FAMAS just runs straight out and peels back 2 heads. And it's a third on top of it, and the blink of an eye, the snap of the fingers. Twist has taken the site, and Ence are forced to save again. You're very welcome, Dust. I'm glad that I could be useful
Much
sometimes.
Or wasting one.
Oh, snappy. Plug and Twist down to 1 HP, still stands tall enough to deliver the frag onto Spinks. And let's be honest, their economy's in such good shape, he doesn't even care if he dies.
Nope.
They're fine with that.
Ence have no clue what's going on over at middle. They're trying to kind of keep an eye on it with Alu's AWP. And Spinks has that boosted position and does find his man before going down, but now they know where he is. They have him isolated. A great flash comes in, but Rain through it anyway finds Spinks.
It's not... Well, I was going to say last line of defense, but he has now been taken down as Rain puts the sledgehammer to use. Host plant comes into effect. Alu hasn't really been given any chances in this round, but they're still up close. And with their economy, with the situation as grim as it currently stands, they may feel compelled to try and go in. Desperation may be creeping in for the Finns and the pole. As Alu is now all alone. Last man standing, and coldzera wide swings him. 6-1, and Ence save no weapons. But I don't even want to take anything away from Faze. I don't think it's Ence necessarily playing poorly. I think Faze have just been that damn good.
Yeah, I think that's definitely accurate. And I think obviously the economic problems that Ence have had on their CT side, I mean, you're never really able to get rolling. The one round that Alu had an AWP, he had to basically play a tough retake on the B site. So I do think it's also a sense of sometimes when you fall this far behind this early and you're on the CT side, you're going to be lacking in one department or another. Like, this is one of those maps where utility on the CT side is so important. Like, you're the one trying to stop teams from getting banana control or stop teams from getting what the focus is for Faze. They do still kind of have Spinks in a forward position over towards the cart here at banana. And he does get the kill onto Brokey, so that alleviates some pressure towards this B side. But in the meantime, you have Rain wrapping up Archway, and you can even get this pinch off on Spinks over towards Construction. Bomb still left behind bottom B, but they can easily be reclaimed by coldzera, who's in Boiler. And so it's really going to come down to what Rain wants to do and what he can find.
Oh, it feels like Alu's completely screwed. Unless timing gets the better of Rain, which it won't. You know, splatters Alu from behind. Diha now does at least get one in return. And it does definitely give him a chance, a fighting chance, but his teammate's not moved yet. They're not even sure as to whether this is a B or an A hit. So Diha's all alone. He just catches a glimpse of the player pushing into pit and takes his head off. And now Diha has every chance of clutching this round out, but he has been suppressed by Carrigan. 1-on-1, and Spinks is still on the B side. It's going to take him ages to get across.
That's just the impact of Rain having that archway position for so long. It really forced Ence to have to hold their ground on both ends, and it gives Carrigan a chance in the 1v1.
The timing may work against him because Spinks took so long. Carrigan started to doubt himself, relaying that information to the rest of his teammates, and they may very well try and pivot their way back around. Another smoke has now been tossed in, but Twist's position is so powerful, and he finishes off what Rain started down middle in that opening trade. There are still 2 players on the A side, including Diha, who's just hit a vein of form. But he's going to be called upon multiple more times, and Carrigan is actually wrapping around the back of B in amongst all of this action and chaos, and maybe try and deal with any rotational player. In doing so, it allows the Sanctuary of Faze to rotate the bomb all the way across to B, and Snappy only has a UMP to his side. He has to try and hold this all alone. 13 seconds to play with, though. If he can pull out the rabbit out of the hat and just spray down a couple players, it could be good enough as he's looking to go for that wide swing. 5 seconds to play with from Brokey, is checking his angles, and even though Diha has splatted Brokey afterwards, the bomb gets planted down, and a 3-on-2 comes up with Otto on exceptionally low HP. Surely Ence are about to succumb again, and there's a flank player coming around the back as well, by the way. coldzera is making moves all the way around CT side. They need kills right now. If Ence are going to have any chance at clutching this, Diha or Dotto have got to go massive. They're missing too many bullets, and they're both going to get costed as a result down, and Faze take the 8-2 lead. collectively. Alu still yet to get off the mark with frags. Maybe this is his moment as the flash comes through. Looking, pounces in for his first and tries to connect into more, but it will be a one and done. Dotto, only 10 ADR to his name, is looking to try and pick up a few more frags and a few more damage, and he does get it done onto Karrigan, who runs out of ammunition, but still, they're locking it down from pit, and Dotto is stuck on site. They know exactly where he is. AK-47 has been picked up, and a low brokey against him with an AWP does make this maybe a doable situation, but coldzera,
you might as well just go ahead and chalk up an 11th round for FaZe and Ence staying at 2 because their economy is absolutely in tatters, and Brokey's already taken one op off the board. Snappy tucked into the corner at the sandbags, trying to hold this ground. He's good for one, but that's going to be all, and that's not good enough as FaZe are just tearing Ence apart all across the map, Vince.
It feels like Ence are out of ideas. Like, this just seems like a team that has run out of steam. They can't keep the pace with FaZe. They're just being, as you said, outmaneuvered at every single turn. And the reason I'm not even really talking about Dotto and Dihao is the way that Twist has been playing. I just never gave them a chance. He's 15-4.
All right, so Dihao has a little bit of a tricky angle here that FaZe haven't faced yet. So, and they have a player under porch as well. So if FaZe commits to middle, this might be a little bit tough.
Hopefully Ence can get it done, but of course they check the angles. There's a perfect flashbang tossed out there. There was no secondary player playing anti-flash and a Molotov alongside it, so Dihao was just dangled on the end of a rod, and Twists goes fishing. 3 times in the round, headshots delivered, first class. He's up to 18 frags already, and we haven't even finished the first half.
I swear I haven't seen Twist miss a shot yet. It just seems like every time he comes out, when we're watching the other players' POV, they're dead in the blink of an eye. They never even really get a chance to pull the trigger. Twitch just been so clean. He might even ace this round. No, Snappy will not allow that, but who cares at this point, really? FaZe are just dominating the scoreboard here. Snappy trying just to save this M4 over towards construction area. And even if he were, it's just such a small victory to claim, and he won't even get that satisfaction as FaZe jump up 12-2.
Brokey was considered like one of those fantastic, unreviled players that just came out of nowhere and was just an absolute...
Yeah.
He's not even been required this game.
Nope.
He's 8 kills. Like, he doesn't need to do anything. Karrigan, straight up, gets the entry, instantly retorted on, but that's still going to favor FaZe.
Yeah, absolutely. There is some banana control there here from Ence, as we do see Spinks getting very aggressive with the MP9, so that could be a huge factor in their favor. He does take Brokey down. Twist actually only good for 1 this time around, which has been a rarity. And so hold the phone. There is a chance for Ence in this final round to half, though. Cold has to find 1v2. Can't get past the second. So Ence, before the round half fades, they will find 1 more, but still well behind. We'll see if they can keep clawing back after a short break.
Now FaZe Clan move across to the CT side, and the pressure is dialed up to 11. Ence have got to have a flawless comeback if they want any hope of pulling this one off, and it is going to be pushing straight towards the A site. Brokey is waiting. Nades are put down with a ton of bullets behind them. And now Snappy, although he can get 1, doesn't really matter, Dust. And really, that round for me...
Ence have actually forced this round with the Tech-9s and a few Deagles. A couple players have already had some hell taken away. FaZe claiming some control of top banana, and they will push forward with the MP9 and the Nova, and they will reign supreme. A 3-2 trade. FaZe now up. Some challenges over here at middle with Twist, but they fall back off of it.
Well, Brokey
spot him.
Yeah, pushing down banana. He knows exactly what's coming up. He keeps going. They hear the footsteps, and that nearly gets his life across to Ence. That could have been a 2v2, but instead the bomb's been spilled down. Dotto with 91 HP, with only 2 kills to his name, would have to go above and beyond, although his aim looked towards coldzera's head.
I mean, they could really do whatever they want at this point.
Yeah, taking some liberties. Hopefully it doesn't get into complacency, but Rain shows it's completely worth the pickup as he goes farming for frags with the Nova. Finally is silenced. The damage has been inflicted, although Ence did bounce back with another kill on coldzera, and Brokey's been tagged down. This puts a bit more of the emphasis on Karrigan's M4, but if we've seen anything so far today, it's that he's up to the task, and he passes it again with flying colors. 12 match points. They want to put this one down real quick. To be devil's advocate, though, if they do concede this, they've put a lot of money into the round, so maybe there's a way back forward. But of course, Brokey shows that the triple op setup can't be very much a success as he picks up the first play. It's going to be D-Hat. Lack of utility
Vince.
as they look to try and push onto the site, and Dotto's been finished off next, and Brokey goes in again. The House of Cards is coming down, trying to get the no-scope at the end, being cheeky, but Alu's being overwhelmed. The players behind him, in front of him, and at least he gets a kill. He's about to get fragged by Karragan, or perhaps not. Alu's still in with a chance in this round. He's being pushed down from another player down towards middle who may get the drop on him, and there is coldzera. That's going to be all she wrote. 16-3, the easiest of 2-0s, and we'll be back after just a short break.